All right. So I realized that I actually haven't uploaded in my channel in a while, and all the videos that I currently had were just re-uploads. So I figured I'd make my first real video on this channel by doing a breakdown of the Godzilla main title sheet music that I manually arranged, right? And just break you down how it went. So let's just first start with how I managed to make all this. I went to the official site for Godzilla, uh, King of the Monsters, for on Bear McCreary's website. By the way, I have no script for this. I'm just bugging it off my head. And so I used this as a basis, and but since I was doing it with a string trio kind of thing, I had to convert it to bass, not bass, cello or bass clef. Yeah, that was the word I was missing. And so first of all, all right, hold on, where do I start? From the first note, I realized it was 3 beats. However, I didn't want to do that because when you hear the soundtrack itself, um, it holds out for a lot longer than just 3 beats. So I extended it to a whole note. And while this has like 2 layers to it, I just decided to shorten it to one because honestly, like cellos can't go deep enough to do both a lower A and a low E. So, and plus, if we were to do the high version, it would be way too high for the opening, okay? So I just regulated to just one thing. All right. And I did it to tempo 80. Tempo. Sorry, I did it to tempo 80. Um, because that was honestly the closest I could really get without further complicating myself. And as you'll also see, it's a fortissimo, meaning that it's insanely loud. And, well, yeah, it's insanely loud. There's no doubt about that. What you'll also notice is the number of accents in this piece. If you look back at the website, you'll notice that not only are there like staccatos everywhere, it's actually quite obvious that this piece would have staccato in it. But in order to make the bomb, like instead of bop or ba, you have to go bomb. You gotta accent it so you could have that jumpiness feel to it, while also, like, not making it too short of a bow or a note. And what you'll also notice is that I put a B flat here, but then I clarified it to natural. I think a lot of people should know this. Like, I like clarifying some stuff to the audience. Um, like that, most pieces actually do this, whether it's classical or film. And all right, I actually forgot some stuff about tenor class. So if you by the way, I'm using QuickTime Player. So if you can't hear the audio, that's why I'm using a cheap uh, recorder. So at the end, there is a mixture of a B and an E, but I didn't really want to combine it with the cello itself. So I made the violin and viola do like a strong accent according to note flight. And that's another thing. I'm using note flight for this, not like any other, but because it's a lot easier to access. Plus, I found it to be enjoying myself with it. I don't know if I'll find any other piece like software like this. So after that quarter note of a uh, of a note to jumpstart our way into madness, and we do a little bit of a da 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 dun 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 dun. Yeah. This since this chunk is missing, we're only doing 3 here instead of the 4 shown in here. All right. Another thing is that when you hop onto the website, you'll notice two things. Second, first of all, the absurd number of time signature changes. It was actually really hard to replicate this, considering the fact that hold on, give me a second. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah. So the reason why the time signature constantly changes is because rather than if it was all 4/4, we would need to leave out this thing, but then it'd be like a disconjoined mess. So by changing the time signature, you can actually you can actually fit it all into one measure. And so instead of da 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 da, instead of leaving that note out and making the other notes, instead of 1 2 1 and 2, like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, instead of that, we get it. If we just stayed 4/4 all throughout, we get 2 and 3, 4 and 5. So yeah, it's if we never had 5/4, or at least didn't make a change, and if Brandon McCree actually didn't clarify this, I probably would have just taken that hard way, because honestly, time signature changing is really hard. Like if you do it on a software. Another thing you'll notice is that there's actually a lot of repeats here. And by a lot, I mean, hold up. Like for the violin and viola part, there was like 4 times. Actually, for all of it, it's just 4 times. But if you hop all the way down, actually, I'll break it down later, because honestly, it's getting complicated. And as usual, the high guys go da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. But what I also noticed was that there was some background playing like an F, so then done. So I made the cellos go done, 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 done. Done. Oh, and another thing, it moves like a note higher as well. So that's also another good thing to keep in mind. After you finish with this, you just move up one. Honestly, just thinking like that. And as you also see, this measure is like after this repeat, you have to straight go to this. Any classical musician, or actually any musician in general, would know that if you see this, that means you repeat, you go to this, and then when you repeat, you go to this. So yeah, and oh yeah, 3/4 for the da da na da na da na. I would have made it 4/4 if it wasn't for the fact that I had to then rely on dotted quarter notes, because honestly, I don't really like dotted quarter notes. When it comes to their rhythm and stuff, it's kind of a mixed bag. Oh yeah, I let the violas have a little bit of time to shine. I moved the violins up an octave, because if you hear the second part, you'd see that the trumpets came in. I think it's called whatever. It was a brass instrument came in and started playing the high part, while the string just stayed on the low part. But however, since we're relegated to just violin, viola, and cellos, I figured we haven't had a chance for the violas to shine, and since I don't want to give them too much work, I figured just make them the main melody while violin is secondary, and the cellos are just background noise. And yeah, same here, same as I. Oh yeah, and in that final like thing, like those final measures, I also made the cellos play like an F as well. Because if you can hear it closely, maybe I'll edit it in, but I probably won't. If you hear it closely, you see that there is like an F, like a very strong F resonating like in the background. You'd probably actually hear it, maybe not. Whatever it is, it played an F, okay? And okay, this decision was really hard for me. At first, I was gonna let the violas do the da 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 da. However, I figured at the end of the day the violin should do this because first of all, they can get pretty low for their own regard, and secondly, since the dun or dun, that part, it was pretty low for a violin could even reach it though. Like they're low enough to be doing the da 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 da, but they're not that low enough to do the dun, that part. So I figured just make the viola and the cellos do it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. And oh yeah, one more thing. You notice that up in here, the E's are flat, but for cellos, the E's, they're natural. The reason why I did this is because, first of all, it actually sounded pretty good, that I actually stuck with it. And secondly, if you listen closely into the background, you can actually hear some natural E in there. I don't know if it's just me misheard it or if I just had too much style, but I actually preferred it if the flat and the natural were actually kind of clashing together. It's a nice touch. And now we move on to probably the hardest part to ever like engineer, or whatever the word you call it. Hold on, let me change it to, there we go. Okay, how do I put this in words? Oh, hold on, my pencil case fell. Whoops. How do I put this in words? So first of all, I didn't have this originally. I made them do that dun dun dun, and then it transitioned, and then dun dun. However, I pulled back for a little because I was thinking it felt a bit too empty. So I was like, well, might as well do this, I guess, because dun 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 dun. And yes, this part is naturals, and I don't know if I should clarify that, but I'm gonna just put it here because it's fun. Like dun dun, like it brings a lot more life into it, okay? So like, and yes, the violas are kind of alone on this one. I'm sorry, violas, but yeah, hold on, let me press save here. Okay, there we go. All right, now moving on to this. I made the violas do it because honestly, violas didn't get much to shine. They only really shined like up here, I guess, but that was still in correlation with the violin. So I figured I'd give them some screen time. And so, if you forgot, there is actually a long F holding out it while the whatever, whatchamacallit, I'm not referring to the violas, by the way. In the actual soundtrack itself, you could hear the F while it's playing the da 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 da. And then, quite frankly, it switches to G, and then it goes higher. Da 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 da. Hold on, wait. Da. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Da 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 da. And then there was a da da. Yeah, there was a D here that came in, and hold on, how do I put this in words? There was a D that came in when it was starting to go down that scale. It was starting to scale down again. There was a da da, and then an E broke in there. So I just made the violins do that. That's also one of the reasons. Yeah, that's also a reason why I did it. Why I let the violas have that main part. And then, yeah, also this too. Da da. Hold on. Da 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 da. And oh yeah. I don't know why I keep on stuttering in my videos, but the violins joined in now, because if you hear that part with after that low F here, you can hear high, and so yeah. So, and yeah, this part was remotely easy, and this is when things got a little challenging. Sorry, I burped. Okay, look. There was the iconic da-na-na, again, but in the background, or the main, or whatever you want to do, first of all, there was da 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 da. And so, but then I wanted the cellos to do that, but then I noticed that there was a background thing with a low A, dun dun dun, like dun 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 dun. Yeah, if you hear it closer, you can actually hear that. Sorry about that. You can actually hear some low A. And I originally had the violas do that dun dun, but it honestly felt a little too high for them. So I came up with this conclusion. Both the violin and viola did the da-na-na, 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 while the cellos either did the da 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 da, or they could be just background support for dun dun dun. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, it was actually remotely easy to fix all this. And then we get to the finale, which it was actually kind of hard to listen to, if that was the right word. I don't know what to call it, but anyway, we get to the sorry, I can't reach that high right now. So yeah, and then the violas are also basically playing like the the third versions of it. And then I actually had this. I also had like these all of these played by cellos. But then again, I heard something in the background. I heard da 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 da. Yeah, I heard that. So this time I gave violas that part instead of relying to this. The only reason why I relied to this is because it was a bit too high, and yeah. Dun, dun, dun. And this finale was actually kind of hard for me to pick at, and so I went da. So I went with da 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 da, and then it held out for 12 beats, while and then for violas it just went F F G G F G A, yeah. And then I made the cellist go da 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 da. And yeah, I know it sounds a bit out, but like I actually played it with C once, and I thought it was pretty good. So I'm gonna leave it in here for now. And plus it's da da da. Da, da. Okay, no, I guess nobody thinks that's cool. Alright, and then we get here to 130. How I play it, it was like dun 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 2 3 4 5 2 dun 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 dun. So what I wanted to do was still connect it to the A, and then end it on like a dun, like a down bow, but then you release it at the tip, kind of like that. I don't know if you guys know what I'm saying. Again, maybe I'll edit it in, maybe I won't. But basically, what I'm saying is that I'll have like a do dun, all in one bow. So I made this kind of structure thing. I don't know if it'll work, but it's definitely something. And secondly, you'll notice that the retardando here, when I played it here, like pressing the play button, it went from dun 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 dun. I should probably put the tempo number after I identify it, but up until now, I was actually like, when I heard that slow, I was like, yeah, this is the one. And before we end this breakdown, you probably noticed that there's a 2/4 here, aka 2 beats. There was a rest in between the dun, this dun, and a dun. So, but then since 4/4 was a bit too long and I didn't want to lose this, I just made it too far so that it can fit the rhythm. So, yeah, this is the string orchestral sheet music that I arranged myself. Pro violinists or pro cellists or pro violists, whoever's out there, whoever's out there, please review this so I can make improvements or changes or anything like that. I'm willing to accept criticism. I'm a good boy now. But from the recession I've been getting, it's been pretty solid. But if there's anything that I can improve on, anything, please let me know. And yeah, that'll do for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.